Good morning, everyone. Before we get started, just so everyone knows, is Christine Butler, who was the Federation admin, resigned a couple weeks ago to go to work for her family business. So we needed to find an interim recording secretary. So I made a call to First Service and suggested the best person that we could hire is the one that had a great deal of experience. So for those of you who don't know, our interim recording secretary is Keith, who most of you should know. So we enlisted him to come in to do, because he hasn't been here for any of our meetings lately, that he would be picked up as a recording secretary. What? At least we found a job you could do.
You're correct.
Yeah, I said it. But you heard his answer is correct. Keith, it's good. Seriously, it's good to have you back.
It's good to see everybody, and Jack, you too.
And Keith knows I pick on him all the time, right?
You do.
You want to do roll call?
We're going to do roll call. It's my first time. Bear with me. So again, we're going to call out everybody that is not here or present by proxy. So if we don't call your name, we've assumed you've checked in. If we missed you, just let us know at the end there. So Andover A. Yep.
Present by proxy.
Andover B.
Present by proxy.
Andover C.
Present by proxy.
Andover D. Absent. Andover E. Andover E.
Present by proxy.
Yeah. Andover F.
Present by proxy.
Bedford A is absent. Bedford B.
Present by proxy.
Bedford C.
Present by proxy.
Bedford D is absent. Bedford E is also absent.
Bedford E's here.
Bedford E is here. What's
Name?
English. I checked in.
English? My fault. My one mistake, that's it.
That's the only mistake you get.
Bedford G.
Present by proxy.
Bedford J is absent. Brookfield.
Present by proxy.
Cambridge C.
Present by proxy.
Cambridge E.
Present by proxy.
Cambridge H is absent. Cambridge I.
Present by proxy.
Cambridge J is absent. Cambridge K.
Present by proxy.
Cambridge L.
Present by proxy.
Cambridge M.
Present by proxy.
Corinth.
Present by proxy.
Devonshire.
Present by proxy.
Dorchester A.
Present by proxy.
Dorchester B.
Present by proxy.
Dorchester D.
Present by proxy.
Edinburgh.
Present by proxy.
Fairborn.
Present by proxy.
Fairfield A.
Present by proxy.
Fairfield B.
Present by proxy.
Fairfield C.
Present by proxy.
Fairfield E.
Present by proxy.
Fairfield F.
Present by proxy.
Fairfield G is absent. Fairfield H.
Present by proxy.
Gloucester A.
Present by proxy.
Gloucester B.
Present by proxy.
Gloucester C is absent. Gloucester D.
Present by proxy.
Gloucester E.
Present by proxy.
Gloucester F.
Present by proxy.
Gloucester G is absent. Gloucester H.
Present by proxy.
Gloucester J,
Present by proxy.
Gloucester K,
Present by proxy.
Gloucester L,
Present by proxy.
Gloucester M,
Present by proxy.
Gloucester N.
Present by proxy.
Highgate A is absent. Highgate B.
Present by proxy.
Highgate E is absent. Highgate F.
Present by proxy.
Highgate 3.
Present by proxy.
Highgate 4.
Present by proxy.
Huntington.
Present by proxy.
Inverness.
Present by proxy.
Knowles 1.
Present by proxy.
Knowles 3.
Present by proxy.
Lancaster 2.
Present by proxy.
Lancaster 3.
Present by proxy.
Lancaster 4.
Present by proxy.
Manchester 2. Present. Okay, let's see. Gotcha, okay. Manchester 4.
Present by proxy.
Maplewood.
Present by proxy.
Nantucket 4 is absent. Checked it, Gander?
That's 5.
Nantucket 4. Ms. Clausen? Okay. Nantucket 5.
Present by proxy.
Oakley Green, absent. Oxford 1. Oxford 2. What's that? Yeah, both of those. Oxford 1, okay. Yeah. Okay, we got Quail Pass,
Present by proxy.
Radisson 1,
Present by proxy.
Radisson 2.
Present by proxy.
Richmond, absent. I know, we're just trying to double check if they checked in up here.
Did you call Lancaster too?
They're present by proxy. Yeah, yeah, she's in there. Tremont 1,
Present by proxy.
Tremont 2,
Present by proxy.
Villeroy,
Present by proxy.
and Yorkshire.
Present by proxy. You didn't call Idlewild.
Oh, he wasn't there. You got, Idlewood's gonna be proxy? Al, Jim? Yeah. Okay.
So you're going to call it?
Idlewood,
Present by proxy.
one second. Okay, Mr. President, you have a quorum. You have 101 associations present with 3,684 units. And one hand up. Yeah, I got you. in
Just
there.
'cause you
If I
checked
don't-
in.
If I don't call your name, we have you here. Yeah. I've got you checked in, yep. Yep. Anybody else, just in case? Good. You have a quorum, 92.8%.
How many units?
3,684.
Okay. Then it is 9:41, and I will call the meeting to order. And I would ask that you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry, Jack, sorry, the total roll call count for units is 5,127.
I asked because it didn't make
Yeah,
sense.
92% is not, yeah.
Before I turn the meeting over to Steve to do the presentation, the Federation Board had a lot of discussion on whether to do a bulk mulch contract or not. And it was an extensive discussion on the board. And what the board decided is if individual associations want to order their own mulch and do their own mulch, which basically wasn't allowed in the past. If we had a bulk mulch contract, you had to participate in the bulk mulch contract. There were a number of associations that said, you know, we would prefer to order our own mulch and have it installed through our own association. So what we did is decided for the convenience of the associations that wanted to use a bulk contract, that we would do the bulk mulch contract. It is, as it was sent out, it is voluntary. You're not going to be harassed of how many bags of mulch do you want, what's going on, you know, with it. It is totally voluntary. And in the spring, we will send out a survey to the associations to determine how many of us want to continue to do a bulk mulch contract in the future. And if there are sufficient number of associations that want to do it, we will continue with a bulk mulch contract next year to make it a lot easier for the individuals. But we will leave it up to the residents through survey in the spring of whether we will do a bulk mulch contract next year. But for this year, it is available. The pricing that we received is not dependent upon the number of bags that are ordered or the number of associations participating. So if only 10 associations decide they want to utilize the bulk mulch contract and the pricing in it, they have, the pricing is there, whether it's 10 associations or 100 associations. We have validated that with them, that the pricing is not dependent upon the number of bags. If you choose to do your own, you can do it through your landscaper. You can do it through other landscaping companies, not necessarily yours for your section. You can go to another landscaper if you're in Section 1 and you want Brightview to do your mulching. It's your association's responsibility then to do an arrangement with Brightview to do your own. If you want to use, and I'm just using this company as an example, Hubble Nursery, your association can contact Hubble Nursery, tell them you want to order mulch, and you can order mulch for them and have it installed. So I just wanted to cover that, but next spring we will be doing a survey on how many associations want to continue to have bulk pricing for the mulch contract. And with that, I will turn it over to Steve. This is his first year doing a bulk mulch contract, and he has found out that it is a great deal of fun to try and do these.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everybody. My name is Steve Knott. For those who don't know me, I've had the pleasure of meeting many of you already. First thing I would like to do is thank the First Service staff in the office for all of their help in putting this together. Many of them are in the room. The second thing I would like to point out is that I am aware of the past history of the rollout of mulch installation, receiving. In short, I've heard the horror stories. So if you would like to relay yours to me, that's fine. However, I am well aware of the past mulch issues, and I believe we have taken steps in the procedures this year to address that so that it's a much smoother process. The bulk mulch contract is with Southeast Spreading. Pricing is included in the contract as Exhibit E. The highlights from this year's contract procedures are that association participation is optional. You just did. Sorry, technical issue on the phone. I will continue. Highlights from this year's contracts, again, as Jack said, the contract is optional. You don't have to participate in it. The delivery and installation is in October and November, and March and April for spring. And we will begin in numerical order starting in Section 1. Ordering mulch, your association's mulch order form, list of addresses for mulch spreading, and the map of your association will be emailed to you on Monday and Tuesday of this coming week under the subject line mulch order form. If you would like a hard copy of the order form, please let me know and we will be happy to provide that for you. We also have your information. If you participated last year, we can copy that also and provide that to you. Order forms are due back into first service at the end of the month. So we will need those by August 31st, which is Wednesday, a week from Wednesday. If we don't receive an order form from an association, we will presume that you do not want mulch this year. So you have two options. If you don't want mulch, you can return your form with 0 on it, or if we don't get it, we will assume that you don't want mulch. Mulch receiving, so for those associations that order it, Southwest Spreading is required to provide a minimum of 48 hours advance notice to the association designee, telling them when the delivery will occur. This is something I had a conversation with Southeast's foreman about and their supervisor. I know it was an issue in the past. We have an understanding with Southeast that they must give 48 hours advance notice to the association designee for delivery and installation as well. If there is no designee present at the agreed upon time, Southeast at their option may go ahead and deliver, or they may install the mulch with no responsibility for that. So it's sort of a mutual quid pro quo. They're going to call, we're going to hold them to that, and then we're going to ask that the designee is there as well. Association participation, again, is optional. If participating, active participation by the designees are required. That is not to say we're asking you to spread mulch. That is asking for you to instruct the mulch installers to install according to your desire. Joey, who is our landscape supervisor, will be participating actively in this process of the delivery and installation, and helping the associations and helping Southeast Spreading so that we're fully communicated with all three parties involved. Signatures, we will need an authorized signature to approve the invoice for payment. I think that is pretty self-explanatory. So with that, I will put the screen down. There's the pricing, which I believe you all have had a chance to review. It is in the contract as Exhibit E. And that is all I have, sir.
The pricing has gone up if I am correct from last year.
Yes, from last year, pricing did increase. And just as a suggestion, you may want to look at what you did last year versus this year, because some of the pricing went up less this year, say for pine bark, and more for cypress mulch. So it's just something each association, if you want to participate, are going to have to look at individually and see how it fits within your budget, because there were some price increases.
We did compare, and Steve, you may want to talk to it. We did compare southeast spreading pricing to the pricing that is in the contract as additional service. In the contract, say for, and I'm going to use Brightview as an example, they only list one type of mulch. Am I correct, Steve?
Yes,
Theirs is the grade B cypress mulch.
grade B cypress is what they
And
quoted.
it is more expensive than what Southeast Spreading. If you want to go to Brightview and ask them what they're willing to provide, say, pine bark or anything, they could probably give you a price. But we've done that, and we found out basically that their pricing is more expensive than Southeast Spreading. We'll entertain a motion to approve the contract. Thank you, Jim. A second? Thank you. Any discussion? It might not be on, Diane.
Okay. Good morning. Diane Daniels, Southampton 1. In regards to the contract, everybody did a really good job, and it's all covered, in case one of their workers gets killed, or, they could plow through someone's house and things like that, so that's all covered very well. The only thing that I feel that should have been a little more diligence on would have been their scope of work, because going through the contract, the only thing I found under general provisions in section 7.8, is the only paragraph I really find that deals with scope of work. And it states all work shall be completed in a professional manner, and the contractor shall be required to ensure all materials shall be removed from the lawn and landscaping, including turf, sidewalks, blah, 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 blah. So in Southampton 1, they came through. By the time you made your lunch, they put it down and was gone. And we had mulch on our windowsills, all over the place. And I had instructed them not to put and spread the mulch like by the trees or by all the electrical boxes, but they did, all that kind of stuff. And I really think there should be a scope of work addition to this contract so that they are held to how they put it down according to either under first service or under the, POCs of the associations, because everything else is covered very well, but not directing them how they should perform their work.
And one of the things, Diane, is that is why the contract requires that a member of your association appoint a contact. And I'm using a point of contact not as a POC.
No, of course.
Whether it's an officer of the board or something. That's why we're looking to have someone there while they are doing the work. They should be able to complete an association in a matter, depending upon the size. It could take them a couple hours to the entire day. And I know it is a burden upon a point of contact to be out there. I did it for my association last year. As far as mulch being on windowsills, that is covered in that section that's supposed to be free of all
exactly what I
debris.
read for you. But I was out there, it was along with my vice president, and even though we directed them at it, they still took off, and I'm still fighting with them to come back. And we had agreed that they would give us 25 bags for the 25 bags they put out everywhere they weren't supposed to. So it's always a lot of groundwork for the association.
And this is, and don't take this the wrong way, because
Not at all.
I agree with your concerns.
Yeah.
This is why we had an extensive discussion on whether we wanted to do a bulk mulch contract or whether we wanted the associations to say, go ahead and do it.
Totally,
It
totally
eliminates a
understand.
lot of the problems.
It does. But for the associations that want to go with the bulk contract, one simple paragraph, make it a 7.11 or whatever, just to add for their scope of work would help alleviate that problem and keep them more aligned to everything else that's included in the contract. Just a thought.
Yeah,
And thank you for listening. Thank you.
Yeah, can I address just one thing very briefly on that? The mulch purchase and installation procedures are part of this contract. I was aware of those concerns, and in installation requirements, number 6, this language was expanded upon from last year's installation requirements. This year it specifically says installation crews shall use care and precision when spreading the mulch from the bags to achieve the desired even coverage depth and to ensure mulch is contained within the beds but is not directly applied on top of plantings and ornamentals. I guess I didn't put it shouldn't be on windowsills, but I think we can say that at least we've got a little bit more of an expectation included in the procedure this year than we did in the past.
And Steve, I'm quite sure you and Joey, for issues like Diane had, in regard to the use of mulch where it's not supposed to be spread, you and Joey will work with Southeast Spreading to get those issues resolved?
We will. And we will be responsive, Joey and I. My cell phone is always on and available.
Mike Bardell, Oxford 1. I have a couple of concerns. Number one is the look of the community. Letting people opt out. There's a reason for 20 years that it has never been allowed to have people opt out, and that is because of the look of the community and affecting home values should people not do it. But I have no doubt with having the proxy voting, it will be approved and go forward. But people need to be aware of that this could how be the effect in the future years. But my more overriding concern is the fact that First Service is being allowed to back away from this contract. It was put into the contract where they got a landscape professional to do it in their contract and an administrative assistant to help them. And yet now we're allowing them to back out of it and once again push this responsibility back onto the boards. We are a retirement community and we are supposed to be getting out of this, not getting more into it. And I think this is a big problem and I have concerns for it. Thank you.
I'm not as tall as he is. Hi, I'm Liz Argott, Grantham Association. And first off, I want to say I certainly do appreciate the 45-hour heads up because it was a big surprise to us last year when they arrived on Saturday. And I had no clue that that was supposed to happen. So that's a really a great plus. And the increase in price, it's there, but you have to mortgage your home to buy a loaf of bread these days. So, I would anticipate an increase. But my concern matches some of what Mike Bardell just said, so I won't repeat it. My concern is oversight. We have people opting out. We will have associations that will do nothing. And the appearance of our community will deteriorate, and there goes our property values. My question is, the property management has always taken on that role of seeing what was going on in the community and keeping tabs on things and reminding associations when things needed to be improved, increased, or corrected. So, and previous property managers went to each association and did a spot check on the amount of mulch that they might need. I do appreciate the listing in one of the appendix that does say if you want X number of inches, this is probably the number of bags you're going to have. But my concern is oversight, because we don't have any. And by the way, folks, we're a COA, not an HOA. Except for 5 folks. The rest of us are COAs. And that, there is a difference. The second thing I wanted to bring to your attention is POCs. Now, you're talking about a point of contact for the mulch. And we in our association have a team that works on with the mulchers when they're there. However, I want to step back and talk and say something about the POCs who will be involved in all of this, as our landscape POC is. And to remind everybody that POCs are volunteers. They're not landscape experts. And to put all of that onus on POCs is not fair to them. The reason they were created, and I was here when they were created, was to provide an access for associations to the landscaper without having 95 people in the association calling the landscaper, and to provide questions or to report things that were missed, things, branches now rubbing on the roof of the house, etc. So I would just caution everyone that they're volunteers. They're hard to get. Volunteers are hard to get, and we certainly should not be pressuring these folks to take on a role that they're not qualified for, nor do they want. So, with that said, thank you.
Good morning, Susan Raba from Manchester too. I'm not going to elaborate on what Liz said, but last year I had, or this spring, I had a mulch outside work done by the landscaper, not the landscaper, but the company that we're using now. I got 5-minute notice. I got a phone call 7:30 while I was still in bed to meet me in 5 minutes by the bank of mulch bags. I was out there till 12:30 overseeing. That was during the time when Ryan was on his exiting way, and he was not around. He didn't even accept the mulch or anything like that. So putting that aside, my real question is, if you decide to do an independent mulching, how are the grounds going to be taken care of or prepared by the current landscaper that you have? Will they rake up the mulch like they're supposed to that's stuck in the ground now? And will they take care of the weeds? Because last year I had 1-foot-long weeds all around my berm, and they just dumped the mulch on top of it. So what will be the procedure to get the area prepared within that 48-hour period, that when the mulch is really coming in by the independent guy, is that going to be cleared up?
Yes, in the procedures here, the landscapers, if you're in the bulk mulch contract, are supposed to prepare the beds ahead of mulch, and we will make sure that as long as we know ahead of time when you're going to mulch,
Okay, so if
so
we're
that
not
they can
using
do
this
that.
company, and I use Joe Schmo,
Whoever, right.
okay, so we let you know that I'm doing it, and then somebody's going to go out there and take care of this?
We will work with your landscaper to make sure your beds are prepared ahead of that mulch.
And again, to put all this on the POCs, and more things are put on us to monitor our association. I came here to retire, not to work, okay? And now if this job is taken away from you guys, are we getting a rebate on our budget that you're not overseeing any of this? Is there going to be a rebate, a refund?
How has the oversight changed from the last 2 years?
Good morning. My name is Mary Philpott from Gloucester P. I personally think the bigger problem that we have in the community is our neighbors not getting involved. And when they don't get involved, those of us that are on the boards have a very difficult time running our COAs or HOAs the way they need to be run. And I think is happening is we are blaming the Federation, we are blaming First Service, we blame everybody, but the fact remains, I think, the problem is if our neighbors don't care, we can't keep pointing the fingers at everybody else. We have a lot of associations, particularly in the front, that look awful, have for years. And if they don't care about their associations, the rest of us, we're kind of stuck. So that's all I want to say. I personally thank First Service and the Federation for trying to work things out for us when people do not, in general, get involved. This is it right here. This is it. We don't get many people showing up for these meetings. So I want to thank all of you.
Janice McCannon, Canton Court D. I just have a quick question. On your contract highlight sheet, you have listed fall first. Does that mean that our association, for instance, missed mulch last year completely? Can we get this fall?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I have.
It is an option. You can have mulch spread in October, November. There were associations that wanted it spread in the spring. So last year we opened it up so associations, instead of having it spread in October and November, could have it spread in March and April. If your association wants it spread in October and November and refreshed in March and April, you have that option also.
Okay, thank you. Carolyn DeCarbo, Manchester 3. Are there samples of those 5 mulches that I could touch and feel and see?
I'm glad you said that. We spoke about that this morning, and we will be having samples in our office available for you to look at. Yeah, I do. Yeah, we will have those in our office at some point next week. So yes, ma'am.
Doris Wente, Highgate D. I've lived here for 8 years, and I've never seen any prep done before. I've just seen them dump it on top of what we already have. What prep is to be done?
I can email it to you. It is, I believe it's specified in this contract what prep work is supposed to be done, and the landscapers are aware of what their responsibilities are. We've talked with them already about making sure that about this process, and they have it on their calendar coming up to make sure that their beds are free of weeds and are prepped. So yeah, and I agree with you 100%. I mean, to me, that's unacceptable for them to put mulch down and not have the beds weeded, or put mulch down and then prune and have clippings all over fresh mulch.
Any other comment, concern? Then we will take the vote, call the question. And I know Keith loves doing this.
Okay, we have the proxies already, so I'm gonna go through and ask those that are present for their vote. So starting back at the top, Acadia. Do you want me to do the proxies too? You gotta do the proxies too. We're gonna add more fun, and we're gonna do the proxies too, so. Okay. Acadia 2. Do you leave?
You got the proxy? How's your voting?
Yes.
Acadia 2 votes yes.
Andover A.
Andover A votes no.
Andover B.
Andover B votes no.
Andover C.
Andover C votes yes.
Andover E.
They vote yes.
Andover F.
Yes.
Andover G. No. Andover H.
Hold on one second, my pen won't work. Thank you. Say that again, please.
Andover H.
Yes.
Andover I. Bedford A.
They vote no.
Bedford B.
Yes.
Bedford C.
Yes.
Bedford E. Yes. Bedford F. Yes. Bedford G.
They vote yes.
Bedford H.
They vote yes.
Brookfield.
They vote yes.
Cambridge A.
Cambridge, what, H?
Cambridge A. Yes, right.
Oh, Cambridge A, yes.
Cambridge B.
Cambridge
Cambridge C.
A. They vote yes.
Cambridge E.
They vote yes.
Cambridge F. Cambridge I.
They vote yes.
Cambridge K.
They vote yes.
Cambridge L.
They vote yes.
Cambridge M.
They vote yes.
Canton Court D. Corinth.
They vote yes.
Devonshire.
They vote yes.
Dorchester A.
They vote yes.
Dorchester B.
They vote yes.
Dorchester C. Dorchester C. I think that's. Dorchester D.
They vote yes.
Edinburgh.
They vote yes.
Fairborn.
They vote yes.
Fairfield A.
They vote yes.
Fairfield B.
Yes.
Fairfield C.
They vote yes.
Fairfield D. Fairfield F.
They vote yes.
Fairfield H.
They vote yes.
Gloucester A.
They vote yes.
Gloucester B.
They vote yes.
Gloucester D.
They vote yes.
Gloucester E.
They vote yes.
Gloucester F.
They vote yes.
Gloucester H.
They vote yes.
Gloucester J.
They vote yes.
Gloucester K.
They vote yes.
Gloucester L.
They vote yes.
Gloucester M.
They vote yes.
Gloucester N.
They vote yes.
Gloucester P. Thank you. Grantham.
Leicester.
Highgate B.
They vote yes.
Highgate.
Back up, Grantham. Just back up.
Grantham
please.
was no.
Okay.
Highgate C. Highgate D. Highgate F.
Highgate F, they vote yes.
Highgate 2. Highgate 3.
They vote yes.
Highgate 4.
They vote yes.
Huntington,
They vote yes.
Idlewood,
They vote yes.
Inverness,
They vote yes.
Jameson, Kensington, Knowles 1,
They vote yes.
Knowles 2, Knowles 3,
They vote yes.
Lancaster 1, Lancaster 2,
They vote yes.
Lancaster 3,
They vote yes.
Lancaster 4, Lancaster 4, going once. We have I think that's you. Okay. Didn't hold that one yet. Lancaster 4. Okay. Lyndhurst. Manchester 1. Manchester 2. Manchester 3. Manchester 4.
They vote yes.
Maplewood.
They vote yes.
Nantucket 1. Nantucket 2. Nantucket 3. Thank you. Nantucket 4. Nantucket 5.
They vote yes.
Oxford 1. Mike left. Oxford 2. Portsmouth. Princeton. Quail Pass.
They vote yes.
Radisson 1.
They vote yes.
Radisson 2.
They vote yes.
Sorry, I think I got you out of order. Richmond. Somerset. Southampton 1. Yes. Southampton 2. Tremont 1.
They vote yes.
Tremont 2.
They vote yes.
Villeroy.
They vote yes.
Worthington. Thank you. Yorkshire.
They vote yes.
All right. Fairfield E. He didn't vote. I did. He left, yeah. Fairfield E. Was a no? Yep. I got that on there. Okay, total yes votes with 97 associations and 4,691 units, reaching 94.7%. The yes votes came in with 97 associations voting yes, the total unit count of 4,691, reaching 94.7% of the vote. No votes came in with 7 associations voting no, with 262 units representing 5.3% of the total vote. So your mulch passes.
The bulk mulch contract is approved. I just want to remind those, and Diane, thank you very much for your comments to the board on the mulch contract. We appreciate it. Regardless of how you voted, does not change your option to either use or not use the contract. Voting no, and if the contract was turned down, it would have basically required every association to do their own mulch and arrange their own mulch. So just because you voted yes, you still have the option to go out and purchase and have your own mulch installed. If you do go out and purchase your own mulch installation, First Service will not be there to oversee the delivery or the installation. It's part of your association doing it. In regard to Mike Bardell's comment from Oxford One on the look of the community, I would love for a group of folks within the community to get together and try and pass some standards for this community, because there are no standards. Each association operates its own association. The Federation has no capability, nor does another association have a capability of telling one association to paint their buildings or how their landscaping is, what is planted for their landscaping. Each association is independent. You can't force, the community cannot force an association to mulch its gardens. If they don't want to mulch, they're not going to mulch. Previously, and I think Keith was here long enough, he could probably verify it. There are associations that ordered 0 bags of mulch. And basically, there's little the Federation or First Service can do in regard to what a association does. The First Service is the property manager go out and say, you know, your buildings are having cracks in them and things, and your roof needs to be replaced. They can't force the associations to do it. And that is one of the problems with a community the size of Kings Point. We rely upon our neighbors and our sister brother associations to keep their property up. There was a comment made about coming into the community. You can't force those associations to paint their buildings or redo their roofs. Insurance may force them to redo their roofs, but you can't force them to paint their buildings. They will do as the residents want to do. And if a group of individuals within this community want to get together and try and design some format for standards within the community, I, for one, would welcome it, because I think there should be some standards within the community for the looks of the community and the looks of associations. But that is one of the problems when you live in a community that has 114 associations, of trying to say what the standard is for mulched gardens or painting of homes or doing roofs at important projects and keeping the community looking nice. The master does a good job in keeping the main roads trimmed. The associations do a good job in keeping their property maintained. And those are some of the reasons for the bulk contracts. Fortunately, when it comes to landscaping, you don't have the option of opting out or ordering 0. But there should be, in my opinion, some community standards, and we would welcome any group of people that want to get together and try and develop some. I think it would probably help this community tremendously. I will open the floor up for any good and welfare comments. As Marianne is making her way up, I do have one good and welfare comment. I would like to thank the COA for the efforts that it put forward on the directories. I know they were using the Federation office, which we gladly said to them, yes, you go ahead and use it. It makes it easier for you. And they were very gracious in their compliments back to the Federation in doing that. But I think the COA should be recognized for putting together the directory. And Marianne, I know you were involved in it, along with Eileen and other people in the COA office. So thank you very much for putting it together and getting it out to the associations.
Thank you for the thank you. I just want to extend a thank you to all the presidents or board members or whoever we could find to pick up your membership directories. We've got, let me just tell you that Knowles 3, Highgate 3, Gloucester C, Cambridge J, Bedford D, and Andover H and Nottingham are the only ones left out of 114. So we appreciate, I also want to extend the thanks to, as Jack said, Eileen, Jane Narden, Howie Narden, and Sheila Houlihan, Forrest Davis, Lucy, everybody who participated in it. It was a major undertaking. And Eileen did all the work on preparing the directories. So a big thank you goes to members of the community who are volunteers and working with the Condominium Owners Association. Thank you so much.
Before I accept a motion to adjourn, I just want to say for the individuals in this community that don't think that your governing bodies work together, we were approached, the Federation was approached by the COA in using our office so they could separate the books. For those of you who don't know it, and I think Jane is still here, are you not, Jane? The Federation and the Master has had a couple joint meetings, very productive meetings, and we don't go out and tell the community every single time we have a joint meeting to work on issues. So if you hear the rumors that the Federation and the COA and the Master are not working together, don't believe it, because if the Master has an issue, it comes to us and says, hey, can we sit down and discuss this? And it's not just on one issue, it's on multiple issues. And the community has to know that the associations work closer together than many people in this community realize. Am I correct, Jane? I mean, you're sitting out there. And I mean, it was very nice because we received a thank you. The Federation received a thank you from Eileen Pico for the use of our office. And her closing was, we look forward to working cooperatively with the Federation in the future, and that is the way this community should be run. So if you hear those comments that we don't work together, don't believe everything you hear. And with that, I will accept a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Diane. A second? Thank you. All in favor? Opposed? The meeting is adjourned.